The climate crisis is here, but most of us still have it all wrong. Did you know that just 100 companies are responsible for 71% of global emissions? Or that we throw away 1/3 of all the food we produce, which creates more carbon than the entire global airline industry combined? These shocking facts show how we've been focusing on the wrong things when it comes to solving climate change. But it's not just about what we're doing wrong, it's also about what we can do right. In this video, we're going to dig into the truth behind some common myths about climate change. You'll learn how to spot greenwashing, why your personal carbon footprint isn't the real problem, and how making small changes to your food and energy habits can make a massive difference. It's time to rethink everything you thought you knew about saving the planet. Stick around, you'll be surprised by what you discover. Chapter 1. When you see a product labeled eco-friendly, does it really mean it's good for the planet? Sadly, not always. Greenwashing is a term used to describe companies that claim to be sustainable but do little to back it up. A study found that nearly 60% of sustainability claims made by companies are misleading or false. For example, a product might be advertised as 100% recyclable, but if the recycling facility can't process it, that claim means nothing. So how do you spot greenwashing? Look for specifics. Companies should list what they're doing to reduce carbon emissions, use renewable materials, or ensure their products are truly recyclable. The more vague the claims, the more likely it is a marketing tactic, not a real change. Strategy: always check the fine print and demand transparency. Being a conscious consumer isn't just about feeling good, it's about being informed. Companies that truly care about sustainability will be open about their practices. If a brand doesn't back up its eco claims with verifiable data, it's time to look elsewhere. Chapter 2. We've all heard about reducing our carbon footprint, but focusing on individual actions alone isn't enough to fight climate change. A study from the Journal of Industrial Ecology reveals that 70% of global emissions come from just 100 companies. In other words, focusing solely on the small things we do, like driving less or using reusable bags, won't move the needle on a large scale. While these actions matter, we need to push for policies that demand systemic changes. Strategy: support policies that regulate industries and promote renewable energy. Switching to renewable energy or making public transportation more accessible can have a much bigger impact than switching out your light bulbs. So, take action by voting for leaders who prioritize climate change, and support initiatives that demand large-scale transformation. Chapter 3. Did you know that food production is responsible for around 25% of global greenhouse gas emissions? That's more than all of transportation combined. But it's not just about cutting back on meat, though reducing animal products can help. It's about rethinking the whole food system. For example, a report by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation reveals that nearly 1/3 of all food produced is wasted. This food doesn't just represent wasted resources, it's also contributing to unnecessary emissions as it decomposes in landfills. Strategy: support local, sustainable food systems and reduce food waste. By supporting local farmers and choosing foods that are in season, you can reduce the carbon footprint of transportation. At home, keep an eye on portion sizes to avoid overbuying. Small changes in how we purchase, store, and consume food can have big impacts on the planet. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay updated for more ways you can contribute to a sustainable future. Chapter 4. We've all heard about solar panels and wind turbines, but what about algae? Believe it or not, algae is being explored as a potential biofuel that could replace fossil fuels in a much cleaner way. According to the US Department of Energy, algae-based biofuels could meet 5 to 10% of US transportation fuel needs by 2030. Similarly, innovations like tidal energy are tapping into the power of ocean currents to generate electricity. These renewable energy sources are still in their infancy but hold massive potential. Strategy: stay curious and support new, innovative energy technologies. You might not be able to power your home with algae today, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't invest in these new technologies. The future of energy is bright, but only if we make the commitment to explore these untraditional energy sources. Chapter 5. Recycling is great, but upcycling takes things to the next level. Upcycling is the process of turning waste materials into something new and useful, often in ways you wouldn't expect. For example, the company TerraCycle works with brands like Colgate and Unilever to upcycle complex waste materials into new products. And it's not just large companies getting in on the action. In your own home, you can upcycle items like old jars into planters, or even repurpose clothes into bags. Strategy: think beyond recycling. Get creative with upcycling. One of the simplest and most satisfying ways to contribute to a zero-waste future is by upcycling things that might otherwise end up in the trash. Not only does it save you money, but it also gives old items new life, reducing the demand for new resources. Chapter 6. With the overwhelming reality of climate change, many people are experiencing what's known as eco-anxiety, the feeling of fear and helplessness when thinking about the planet's future. According to a study published in The Lancet, nearly 60% of young people feel anxious about climate change. But here's the thing, that fear can be channeled into action. Research shows that people who engage in climate activism report feeling a greater sense of control and hope. Strategy: transform eco-anxiety into eco-action. Instead of staying paralyzed by fear, take tangible steps to make a difference. Whether it's joining local environmental groups, supporting sustainable businesses, or simply reducing your own carbon footprint, these actions are empowering. You don't have to change the world overnight. Small, consistent actions can create a big impact over time. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's keep this conversation going and make a real change together.